This is a Fatal 4 podcast.
How about in the Dallas Cowboys training camp earlier this week, all-pro linebacker Micah Parsons trying to do the RKO to his teammate, quarterback Trevon Diggs.
Didn't quite get all of that.
Welcome back to Didn't Get All of It. Can you believe it? We're back. This week on the show, we are talking about AEW All Out and the fallout of it, plus tons of news since we've been gone, and lots of Raw talk. Did you know there's a new commentary team? All that and more tonight on the show. I'm Paul Griffin. Joining me is most of the Fatal Four, including Cody.
I'm back and badder than ever.
And also here is B-Rob.
I'm black and badder than ever.
And not here is Pro Wrestling Noah from Squared Circle Strafe. I heard he was eaten like a dog, and he won't be joining us tonight.
Oh, no.
Speaking of Squared Circle Strafe, I'm wearing a Squared Circle Strafe t-shirt right now. Did you know that we have merch?
What?
People listening to this might
that?
not know it because we've only announced it on the Patreon. But for those of you who aren't patrons, one, shame on you. But two, if you really enjoy the show and you want to wear our logo on your chest, head over to fatal4pod.com and hit the shop button at the top, and it'll take you to our store and you can buy merch.
Hell yeah.
Took forever, but
I'm
we
doing
got
it
it.
right now.
Yeah. And while you're on fatal4pod.com, FOUR pod.com, make sure you click on them links for the Patreon. Like Paul said, shame on you if you're not.
Yeah, come hit up the Discord. Come hang with us. We actually have an announcement about Patreon coming up soon-ish, just not today.
Mhm.
Something to look forward to.
Yes.
You guys get up to anything fun over the Labor Day break? Doesn't sound like it.
So let me tell you about these delivery services. They're eating all our dogs and everything. Nah,
They're delivering packages, but they're taking your pets.
It's some bullshit recently because I've tried to order a lot of things to be delivered to my home for my convenience and everything, and it's been going awry. So first incident that happened, I don't know if I talked about it already, but damn, I tried to order some pizza. And, I was being extra lazy, doing laundry, doing some other things around the house. So I was like, the pizza place is right around the corner. I'm going to just get delivery, help the delivery man out, give him a nice tip, bring me some pizza while I do my chores. So the thing that most people do now, companies that used to have internal delivery services, they kick them out to third-party services now. So like if you order a pizza from Pizza Hut like I did, they kicked it out to a DoorDasher or Uber Eats or something like that instead of having their employee deliver the pizza. So this is where the problem happened. So I ordered at 1:30. They said pizza will be there at 2:00. At 3:30, the pizza said it was delivered at 1:53. I have no pizza. No one came to my house. No one knocked on my door. Nobody went to my neighbors' houses. I know this because I have cameras in my vicinity monitoring my surroundings. Pizza ain't never been around my house at no 1:53 p.m. It's now 3-something. So I drive my ass over to the pizza place. I'm like, hey, man, ordered some pizza around 1:30. Said it was going to be there at 2. Never showed up. Then I get a delivery confirmation saying that it was delivered at 1:53. So what the fuck going on? I've been waiting like 2 hours and some change. He's like, hold on. Go in the back, come up, do some little typey type on this keyboard. He's like, I wasn't even here 2 hours ago, so I'm sorry this happened. It got kicked out to a DoorDash, and I don't know what happened. I said I can either do one or two things. I can credit your account, or I can make you another order. I was like, how long will it take you to make me another order? 8 minutes. Bet. Make it. So I sat there in the Pizza Hut, watched them make my fucking food. And then while I waited, it decided to monsoon for a good 10 minutes. So I got caught in the rain with this hot pizza to drive home around the corner.
He stole that guy's pizza.
Son of a bitch, right? Instance number 2. Ordered a whole goddamn refrigerator. BestBuy.com. Fuck them bastards. Whole refrigerator. Pay for it and everything. Yeah, you would think it was because it never got delivered to my house. It probably ran off somewhere. So I paid for it. Had the delivery date set. And they said, if you had to make some schedule changes and everything, or whatever, because you know how my job is or whatever, they'll call 48 to 24 hours prior. You can work it out with the delivery man so we can get you straight. Bet. Ordered it 3 days prior. No one called 48 hours prior. No one called 24 hours prior. The day of, they're talking about, hey, man, we delivering this shit at 11 o'clock. I'm at work till 7. How the fuck I'm going to get this? Nobody called me. I called the customer service. There's like, it's third party. We don't have nothing to do with their delivery stuff. I mean, I can cancel your order, refund you your money, and you can buy it again and we can try it again. I was like, what fucking sense does that make? This is fucking stupid. So I canceled the order altogether, got my money back, went to Home Depot, same refrigerator, couple dollars cheaper, got it the same fucking day, delivered. Should have did that from the beginning. Fuck Best Buy delivery. And what else?
Number 3.
Number 3. And that's it.
This is now a countdown of
No, it's
worst
my
delivery.
Polaroid. You sent me a
Yeah,
Lego.
your fucking Polaroid. Yeah. Tell them about that, Paul.
B-Rob ordered me a birthday present, and they took it to the wrong house altogether. Not even close to mine.
Nowhere.
So he had another one sent out, and thankfully the people who got my package brought it over. So now I have 2 Lego sets.
Yeah. I paid good money for that present or whatever. I made sure that it got there and it was gift wrapped and shit.
I offered you one of them.
I don't play with the Legos, man. That's
You don't play with them, you build, and then you
Same
let them
difference.
collect dust and you enjoy looking at them.
Do you glue yours?
No, of course not.
Okay. I know some
does
people
that?
do that.
That's crazy.
Some people
People
do that.
glue their Legos?
Yeah, so
you
they
gotta
don't
take
come
them apart
apart.
sometimes. You got to take them apart. Like if you
What do
move.
Like, do they shift or anything like that?
No.
Like a house?
No, like the tall ones, they're all sturdy. It's pretty tough to break those apart.
Man, I haven't messed with Legos since like my older 2 children were like babies. And then I was cautious about that because it's a choking hazard.
Yeah,
But-
don't feed your babies Lego.
Don't do that. Don't feed them animals. Don't feed them Legos. Don't do none of that shit. But yeah, ordered Paul a nice birthday gift. Thought he would appreciate it. They said it was going to be there on his birthday. Then I got another thing saying that, hey, man, we had some delays. It's going to be there the next day. I was like, all right, no problem. No biggie. Then they delivered to the wrong goddamn place. That was a whole hullabaloo to get with Amazon, try to figure that shit out. And they was like, we're just sending you another one. I was like, could you please send it to the right place this time? And then they send pictures of it. Paul said that's not his house the first time. The second time they put it in the alleyway. Think it was behind a bowling alley or something. I ain't know where the fuck they delivered that
The
shit.
dead rat.
Where the dead rat was. I'm having bad times with delivery.
Well, good thing we're going to have no problems delivering an excellent podcast.
You would think.
I don't know about that. Let's not overpromise.
Okay.
We might outsource this to some washed up legend or something. Let him do it.
Yeah. We can outsource it to Kaz on Didn't Get All of It Japan.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Hey, I'll call him right now.
Speaking of Didn't Get All of It Japan, you host that show. Would you like to host this next segment?
Sure. Yeah, what we got? We got the festivities that happened at All Out and the fallout from All Out, and we all out on all this stuff here. So, I mean, Cody, did you watch Swerve and Hangman kill each other?
I did. I watched all of All Out.
Did you have any thoughts?
I sure did. Main event was very polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I thought that their last encounter was much better.
Mhm,
And arguably much more violent. So I don't think I had a problem with the violence in this match. I think just honestly, I don't like cage matches. They're one of my least favorite stip matches in wrestling.
Are you excited for SmackDown this week then?
No, but that's an evergreen statement. It's like it's too confining, and I just feel like everything that can be done in a steel cage match has already been done. And I don't know. I just found it kind of boring, and then I didn't love the finish. Not because the needle spot was like, whatever.
It seemed out of place and unnecessary because it didn't serve a purpose. Like you feel like he shot him with the needle to do what? I mean, I know it's a spot that's super indies do or whatever, to where they pierce skin and all kinds of things because it's a thin gauge of needle, so it can pierce the skin easy, make a crazy looking spot and everything. But I don't think they had a thin enough gauge needle because it didn't go through his jaw like it was supposed to. And like there was nothing in the syringe, like, storyline wise to make it mean something or whatever. Like he not swerve out with something. But I mean, it
should have put
seemed...
fentanyl in it.
No, let's not do that, please.
They have to save that for future matches.
Yeah,
okay.
Because apparently
everything's got to be more violent than the last one.
Yeah, but this was inherently less violent than the last one.
Yeah, but it's gross.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to gross people out and be like, look how gross we got. And I'm not into that.
Like, so we're to the stage, AEW wise, at least. I mean, for these two, to where like when somebody pulled out the staple gun in one of these hardcore matches, that was some rough shit. Now it's to where the staple gun is like super kick territory. Everybody doing that shit, and it's just like it's whatever. They stapling each other like, all right, this is normal hat. Is in line with a Canadian destroyer at this point. Just whatever. But they're 1-1 in these gruesome matches or whatever, and it seems like they still got some more in the tank for later. So I wonder,
Inferno match.
Or they can do that barbed wire exploding death match that could have been, right?
How about shoot your opponent with a gun match? Because they have to. I'm not into this. Like I know some people are, but I think the gross out stuff, the needle, the plastic bag, Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, like that shit has no place on my TV, and I don't want to see it.
Wait, hold on.
I see what you did there, and I like
what
I like what you did.
I was being serious.
I know.
I don't know. I'm not into it. I know some people like it. I don't think enough people like it to sell out an arena. But I wish them luck if that's what they're into. I think Eric in the Discord made a good point. Like, at least it sets them apart. They're not just another WWE knockoff now. They're the violent company. If you guys want to be violent, by all means. But I think that is going to turn off a lot of people.
And what I think coming after this or whatever, it seems like Swerve's going to be taking a little bit of time off or whatever, I guess, to nurture the kids that in previous promos that he was saying that he was neglecting. So I'm fine with that. Get him off TV for a while, away from Hangman. And it seems like Hangman has already started another feud with Jeff Jarrett because they got some bad blood. So we'll see a little bit of that while Swerve is chilling somewhere.
I actually
Dave Grohl with him.
I actually enjoyed the Jeff Jarrett Hangman segment from Dynamite.
Yeah,
this week.
I did.
Jeff
One
Jarrett
of the older people that I don't mind so much.
Great. Yeah, he's very solid. It was a very solid promo from him. Basically warning Hangman of like going down this dark path. He's seen it. He's been in this business for forever, and he's seen it happen before, and he's going down a dark path. And Hangman's response was basically, "Fuck you," and just punched him in the face. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I definitely don't need Swerve and Hangman to happen again anytime soon.
Yeah, nah, they can take a break. I mean, he carried the company for a little bit as their champion. They had this crazy, some would say it was a great match. Just to further that story a little bit and, get a deserved rest. He can chill in his recliner chair while Nana dance over his shoulder. Good stuff. So another thing that happened there at the All Out show, we had Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry, which also had some fallout as well, leading to the turn of the BCC on Bryan. What are we thinking about this, gentlemen?
Speaking of gross things I don't want on my TV, Jack Perry.
Jack
Put him in
Perry's
the
fine.
list.
Nah, don't do that. He's okay.
I need my own Mount Everest.
I really hated this post-match angle for like a multitude of reasons. The British Combat Club has been so stale for so long, and they haven't really done anything. What is it?
Blackpool,
whatever.
Same difference. It's
BBC. They have been very stale, and they haven't really like done anything together in a while. So like this didn't really feel like a heavy turn. You know what I mean? Like the emotion wasn't there because I haven't cared about this group in forever. So it was kind of like, eh. But then on top of that, I agree with Paul. I think the like literal attempted murder is just too much. Like he's choking him out with a plastic bag. That's completely
I feel
unnecessary.
like some people are going to hear that and be like, well, they hit people with cars in the 90s. I'm like, that sucked too. Like, just because it's happened before doesn't make it good.
And this is the thing about both of the situations or whatever. I mean, even like when you go back to the old car hitting people's stuff, there were legal ramifications of those situations or whatever, and there was none here for either, for burning the house or fucking choking the motherfucker with a bag. There was like nothing. They didn't even like mention it on commentary as a side. Maybe he got bailed out. Anything. It was just nothing. The only time there's anything of consequence is like when they do a stretcher spot and you see them physically get into an ambulance. But other than that, they fine next week.
Yeah, just do a DDT on the steps or like put him through a table and cut his face open. Something like
Case
that.
in
Do the
point.
age of the fall thing where you hang them upside down and they bleed out. That's fine. That's pretty extreme.
I also really wasn't a fan of Brian like no selling the European uppercut.
Yeah.
From Claudio. Like, not that it like makes Claudio look weak or anything, but it just
It was
looks
too
silly.
immediate. Yeah,
Right.
It was too immediate.
I don't know. It looked very silly, and then I didn't like the bag stuff, and I also don't really have any interest in a Moxley Bryan Danielson match.
And then they just kind of did the thing to where like also Willa Yuta is caught in the middle. It's just like they did on Dynamite. You know, they were talking about Bryan is at home resting and Willa Yuta is by his side or whatever. And so it's like he has some backup, but like,
does he?
Like
though?
Cody was, it's just like Cody was saying, is they've been doing all this stuff all this time separately, especially when Bryan made his intentions known that, you know, this could be his last year, putting his career on the line. If he doesn't win the title, yada, yada, yada. He's been separate from BCC doing all this on his own or whatever. So I don't know, maybe more will be revealed later, but yeah, I'm not too interested. But
Also, why did they give the trios titles to these guys
I don't know.
to then do this?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I talked about it at one point before this turn happened, to where like when BCC first started, they tried to recruit Pac, and I thought it was like a cool full circle thing to have him with them as a trio, but
Sure,
I don't
but
know.
then
And then it was
to
kind
do
of like
this
a
turn and have Wheeler Yuta be on the outside of it,
yeah.
while simultaneously holding the belts with those two is dumb.
Yeah. Isn't this a hodgepodge too? Because like they kind of
How will they coexist?
fit them together
Yeah.
because the Lucha Bros are on the way out, are gone. So no more Death Triangle.
We haven't had an update on the Lucha Bros in a while.
Yeah, I haven't heard shit. Much
Last I
like the
heard
Motor
was that
City
they-
Machine Guns, they were on the way.
We'll talk about that later. But last I heard with the Lucha Bros was that they could hold Phoenix longer due to injuries, but that doesn't seem like their style.
Nah.
If you're not interested in Bryan Danielson against Jon Moxley, Can I interest you in numerous other matches?
Yeah, because they still have their what quote unquote Money in the Bank floating around in Christian Cage. He won that title opportunity that he can cash in at any time, right?
They have lots of options, and I'm going to let you hear all of them right now.
And you're right, Tony. I was on my way to the ring. I was prepared to sign this contract and make it official, but I decided that it wasn't the right time or place. But Bryan Danielson, make no mistake, your days are numbered. And if you think being nearly suffocated was bad, that's nothing compared to what I will do to you to take that World Heavyweight Championship. In fact, Bryan, I will beat you so bad, you'll wish your wife Bree was the one that has CTE, so she won't be able to comprehend what an embarrassment you were as champion.
You are not ready to be a world champion. You weren't ready 5 years ago. You weren't ready 2 years ago. You're not ready today. I don't have time to explain, but I'm gonna need you to hand over that title shot to me.
Hand over.
What are you, stupid? You didn't hear anything I just said? Were you dropped on your head? You been drinking again? You're kind of sounding like everybody that you hate. You kind of sound like everybody you hate in the back. Self-entitled. You didn't earn this, John. I earned this. And I'm not just gonna give it to you. If you want it so bad, do something about it.
You want me to earn it? Darby, my man, I will earn it. Me and you, New York City Grand Slam, September 25th, your world title shot on the line. I will teach you another lesson. Once again, I will show you exactly where you stand on the food chain. It will always be very far, far below me. You will never be AEW World Champion, Darby Allin. I know that. I've always known that. I believe in you. I love you. I'm the one guy around here who's always had your back, and I don't like having to say that to you. I don't have time to explain everything to you right now. Trust me when I tell you, because I've never lied to you. You have no idea what's going on. That title shot is gonna be mine. This time I'm gonna teach you that lesson the hard way.
Grand Slam. I accept. And I don't know what you're trying to do around here, but if you want to burn AEW into the ground, don't be surprised when I pull you into the fire.
How many years I have had to watch from the sidelines Bryan Danielson's career. An afterthought. A postscript to his success that should have been mine. So at Grand Slam, it will be Bryan Danielson. Take a breath, Bryan. Against Nigel McGuinness!
Oh my God.
Ah!
Wow. How about that?
So
Too much going on.
McGuinness sounds cool.
Yeah, so like I enjoyed that Nigel segment, and the whole time he was doing the build up to announcing the match between him and Bryan, you can hear the guy in the background. Yes! I love that shit.
All right, let's take this piece by piece. So the Christian Cage stuff, right? I know we talked about him winning the opportunity at All In. I don't love how it's just Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please, come up with an original idea, please.
It's
I was fine if it was just like, he can choose when and where he wants the match, but like, they tease the cash in at the end of All Out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that. Like, I'd rather it just be like, okay, he gets a match, he can pick a time and date in the future for it.
Also feels like the lesser of all of these programs. Like,
Right.
Darby versus Bryan sounds bigger. Mox versus Bryan sounds bigger. Nigel is definitely way more interesting than all of them.
Yeah, hell. I mean, I even like Mox Darby, and that's not even a title match. Well, it's for a title opportunity, but still, I still like that. Yeah.
And so
get a title match.
Clearly, I have not been paying close enough attention. When did Darby Allin get a title shot anyway?
So he finagled his way into 2 title matches. When they did the freaking the cage joint.
Mm-hmm.
He was about to set your boy on fire, and he finagled his way into a title match then for the TNT title, and then because he did this at the same time when he won that world title opportunity. So he, because I was bitching about him having 2 title opportunities at the same damn time, but I forget when he actually got the world title opportunity.
Yeah, like I honestly I don't remember. I'm sure someone will let us know in the Discord or something.
Someone's screaming in the void right now.
I do not remember him ever becoming a number 1 contender or anything like that. So this felt like really random, and then Moxley, Moxley wanting it so that he can beat Bryan, like sure, like that's fine. But I didn't love Moxley's promo of being like, I don't have time to explain right now.
They haven't really gone out of their way to explain what is going on, probably because they don't have time. Just need that 3rd hour. But he really came off as like conspiracy theory guy. Like, I don't have time to explain, but they're eating your dogs, they're eating your cats, they're gonna take your pets. You gotta give me that title shot. Like,
yes,
that's what it came off as. Something. It's very strange.
Yeah, because
also why is Marina Shafir there?
Tough lady.
Why does Moxley need a female heater?
Hey man, that's his protege. He's just trying to bring somebody up. He's bringing somebody along for the ride.
Bring someone good.
Hey man, she's getting good.
Says who? Prove it.
Hey, she's been wrestling. You just don't watch it.
She might prove it.
Yeah. But I do think we all are excited for Nigel and Bryan.
Yeah.
The only thing so it seems like that is not a title match, though.
That's the vibe I got from the promo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just a match,
which is weird. Like
he could beat
him,
and then say he deserves a title shot, which I would do. Yeah, like, why not? You could say that he's injured from everybody beating him up.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess if they want to give Bryan a loss, without him losing the title and therefore retiring. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Nigel hates him so much he doesn't care about the belt, but at the same time, like, why wouldn't you just be like, Tony, make it a title match?
Because 8 other people have title shots.
Yeah, get in line, I guess.
It is cool that the last time that these 2 guys wrestled was forever ago, and they've both retired since then.
Yeah. And they get to try it again.
Yeah. All right. That's all of the AEW talk. We are all out of it. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about all sorts of news that has happened over the last 2 weeks, like Asuka. And, remember Odyssey Jones?
Who's that?
And the Motor City Machine Guns. And folks are real excited about less WWE Raw.
Squared Circle Strafe, the premier video game podcast of the Fatal 4 Podcasting Network. Join me, Pro Wrestling Noah, as I talk all the latest gaming news in the industry, as well as insights into recent releases and beyond. There's plenty of 3-hour podcasts of people talking about video games on the internet, but Squared Circle Strafe provides a quick snapshot into what's going on in the world of gaming. The show updates on Mondays, so be sure to subscribe in whatever podcatcher you use so that you're always up to date.
Enjoy your gaming.
And we are back. Welcome back. I didn't get all of it. This is like, it's weird to welcome people back because they're just listening to a podcast. It's not like it's a radio show where you're like tuning in mid-show. Thanks for joining us in the middle of the show.
They might have. I mean, what if somebody's listening to a podcast out loud like a weirdo and somebody walked in the room and was like, "What you listening to?"
Oh,
You know?
yeah, maybe that could happen. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for walking in on people listening to their podcasts. A little rude.
You
You should probably
weirdo.
knock first.
Yeah, I don't want to. We have to reintroduce ourselves. No, we're not doing that. Speaking
My
of
name is
people who might
Ho.
be reintroducing themselves to
See
wrestling,
what you did there.
the Motor City Machine Guns feel like we every couple months we were like they're on their way, and this is no different. The latest reports as of like yesterday is that the Motor City Machine Guns are NXT bound, and they could potentially debut on the CW premiere, which is the CM Punk episode in Chicago. I think that's a good idea. I would love for them to be on TV.
Yeah. So CM Punk is going to show up at both of the premieres.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they did it on NXT Tuesday. That was one of Ava's like on-screen announcements and whatnot. So he's going to be there for the St. Louis show, which will have Randy Orton as well, and he will also be at the Chicago show.
Tickets must not be selling well for that St. Louis show.
Probably. But that's cool. I'm excited. Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, you got to say that slow.
I think they probably should have been here like 10 years ago, but I think it'll be,
refreshing
fresh
for their tag division.
Yeah, exactly. Because WWE, that's the thing is, let them do some stuff in NXT because I'm sure they'll have a banger match with Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Yeah. But I hope they don't hang around NXT for too long and they get put on the main roster because that tag division, it sucks on both Raw and SmackDown. Like, it's nearly non-existent. Gun to my head, I cannot tell you who the SmackDown tag team champions are right now.
The Bloodline.
Oh, geez, that's terrible. Okay.
They did just get sent back to NXT though, so maybe one of them will get good.
One of them. We were looking at you, Camacho.
But yeah, I'm excited for Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna be
they
fun.
Cool shit.
They're gonna beat the Street
Do you think
Profits.
they get repackaged at all?
Hell
they
nah.
can't. They've been around too long to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Hell nah.
And they say gun now. Now that Vince is out, they say gun and kill and things like that. So I think they're fine. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully we get other cool things like my favorite NXT TNA wrestler showing up. I won't say who. Also,
but if you say his name, he might appear.
Yeah, he might.
Beetlejuice?
He's been missed for 2 weeks, and he's been missed for 2 weeks. Speaking of people, you probably won't.
I think it's funny. I know Paul trying to go to the next thing, but I don't want to.
I am. I'm trying so hard.
I don't want this to be omitted from the record. When we started, or where we extended this brand into, didn't get all of it. Paul was so happy to not watch NXT, and he watches it every fucking week now.
Because Joe Hendry might show up.
I think
he might show up and be booked decently.
Kids, I think that's what we call a draw in the business.
Yeah. I hope he does. Well, speaking of people you might miss because they've been injured, Asuka has signed a long-term WWE contract, so she will be around for a while, which I think is great. I hope she recovers soon and gets back with her friends.
Yeah, because I do Poison miss her.
I see what you did there.
Missed her. I missed her.
Yeah.
Missed
Poison. Also, since
get all of that joke.
Yeah. Also, since Julia's here, I would like to see those two run across each other, see what happens.
Well, yeah, that'd be cool. There's lots of cool stuff they could do that hasn't been done. I assume you eventually can break up, the group that she's in and have them all fight each other, which would be cool.
Yep.
Speaking of fighting, speaking of fighting people that you are close with, let's talk about Odyssey Jones. You might remember Odyssey Jones from a short-lived stint as Bigger E in the New Day.
Also,
a few weeks ago.
2-year draftee in a row.
Yeah, drafted to Raw twice. He made his debut and then was promptly removed from the roster page one day, to a lot of people being like, oh my God, what are they doing with Odyssey Jones? He's so great. They're going to fuck this up. Turns out they aren't the ones that fucked this up. Odyssey Jones was removed from WWE TV when domestic violence allegations came out. And that was kind of the end of it. They're not.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So this news broke like last week when we were on vacay, and I feel like I have not heard any update since.
Yeah, we're not getting all of the details on this.
What is his contract status? Is he fired? Was he?
I think that's he is. I think he's out.
Okay,
that's from what I've seen. He's out. He's like gone. They're not like go sit here while the allegations sort themselves out. I think they're like on a big zero tolerance thing now.
Fine, fair, especially if the allegations are true. Good riddance. But like, are there going to be any criminal charges? Like, I don't know. I find it weird that I've not heard a single update on this.
Yeah, I think that stuff takes time. Took Nikki Bella 2 weeks to file for divorce. So
she filed for divorce?
Yeah, that came out like yesterday.
Oh, I didn't see that. Good for her.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where Odyssey Jones went, in case you were wondering and hadn't heard any news in 2 weeks. We just gave it to you. You heard it here first, folks. News that's 2 weeks old. Tune in to Didn't Get All of It to get all of the news well after it happened.
You heard it here last, folks.
So yeah, I don't know. It's always a bummer when someone turns out to be a real piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He seemed like a cool prospect.
Yep.
Now
you
he's
will
just
be
king.
not missed.
Yeah, he's just king.
Hey, speaking of things I'm going to miss,
Jones.
Apparently, because WWE had to work out a special deal with the USA Network because their contract with Raw ended in October, but they had nowhere for Raw to go until Netflix. They worked out a deal where Raw is going to be on Mondays still, but instead of being 3 hours, it's only going to be 2 hours from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. I personally am the only person who doesn't like this.
Yes, you are.
You're a sicko.
Yeah, he is.
This is a huge relief. Raw's great. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying Raw, and I guess your argument, Paul, is that yes, Raw's been good.
It's good. So why make it shorter? Don't make it longer,
right.
But don't make it short.
But I don't know. I look forward to it because I want to see what they do with one less hour. I want to see. I want to be able to go to bed at a decent time on a work night. Like,
stay up late, drink too much. Who cares?
I am looking forward to this change. Apparently, it's only for this duration because I think Netflix has said that they're keeping Raw 3 hours.
People got to understand. Netflix they negotiated a 3 hour program. Netflix bought a 3 hour program. That's what they're going to get. I would not be shocked if once the dust clears from USA weeks of WWE being on every night on USA and they only have SmackDown, I bet they push for a 3 hour SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if we get that next year.
I don't want that.
If they decide to start making it a good show, I'd be intrigued. But they don't do that. So yeah, Raw's going to be 2 hours. I wonder what this means in terms of like how the talent shakes out because there's a lot of stuff going on. Are they going to like rotate? You guys do 1 week and then you guys do the next week?
It'll be interesting at least. Because I mean, I don't think it'll be no different from. Oh, that would be weird. So like, I wonder what the Hulu cut would look like now. Because with a 3 hour show, they chop it down to 90 minutes. Now you got a 2 hour show. Wonder if they're going to make any more cuts beyond what they've been doing.
Who knows? Is that Hulu cut stuff still going to exist?
I don't know because didn't they talk about removing that from Hulu as well?
I would figure if you're on Netflix, the last thing they want is condensed content on Hulu.
Yeah. So I don't know how that stuff worked. I remember seeing a tweet, and that's how long ago it was actually called tweets then.
They're still called tweets.
From the Hulu account on Netflix. I mean, goddamn, I'm getting all running together. I sound like my mom. Freaking.
What's that Hulu doing on my Netflix?
Yeah, she called me every child that she has besides my name. But yeah, it was a tweet a long time ago saying that Hulu, from Hulu's account, saying that they didn't work out no stuff or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I don't know. We're going to have 2 hours of Raw. Hey, speaking of Raw, we can talk more about it after this break because they have a new commentary team we haven't weighed in on yet. And we've got developments in the IC title tournament, world title picture, and of course, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. The bracelet feud continues. And so does this podcast right after this.
Do you want more from Fatal 4? Well, you should join our Patreon for only $3 a month and get ad-free episodes and full access to our Discord. You can talk the latest movies and games and sports with one of my favorite ever online communities. Also get exclusive access to pilot episodes for future Fatal 4 podcasts. And not only all of that, but you get the peace of mind of knowing that you are supporting independent wrestling media. So what are you waiting for? Head to patreon.com/Fatal4Pod. That's Fatal FOUR Pod.
And welcome back to Didn't Get All of It. You've almost made it, folks. Thanks for sticking around. We're in the home stretch, and we're going to talk about some Monday Night Raw. A lot of stuff to catch up on because we did miss last week due to our labors. Raw's got a new announce team, and it's led by Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. What did everyone think of his debut last week and his second week?
Slow to start, but I think by this week this past Monday, he was a little bit better, from what I've heard at least. And
the bits I've heard from this week were considerably better than the week before.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought he was very okay. I thought of all the like randos they've brought in as like, you're a sports guy, come do commentary. I'd say he's been the best one. Just because he is a fan of the product and knows the people there.
Well, from that aspect, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very helpful for him. But he does have sports guy voice. He doesn't sound like any commentator that wrestling's ever had before. So there is a bit of a jarringness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he does just get like quiet and talkative.
Sleepy.
And I think, I don't know if that's a bad thing. It's just very different and I'm not used to it. But I was explaining this to Cody the week we were arguing about this on text. Like, he's going to find his groove, and that's when you can really pass judgment. I think it's not fair to dunk on him right now, but I will allow Cody to do that.
I'm gonna dunk.
I'm gonna.
He stinks.
He just got here.
Look, Jimmy Smith. I liked Jimmy Smith. I thought Jimmy Smith.
Nobody else did.
I liked him. I thought he was like perfectly fine in the role. I think Joe Tessitore he has like two emotions, and that's not good. Because it's either completely dull and monotone, or it's over the top, like yelling. Like, he reminds me the worst of Mauro Ranallo in one regard. And like the worst of what was that Irish guy, Kevin Patrick. He's just
Kevin Patrick. He was fun.
Nah, he stunk. Like, I look, I'm not saying
it's a hard job. It's a hard job to come into.
Sure, but they also could have, like, I'm not blaming him entirely. Like, they definitely could have set him up for success. Like, why not? If you're gonna bring him in, why not like have him? And maybe they did this behind the scenes, and I don't know this, but like do a little trial run. Let him like call a main event show, or even just do like a dub over of something else to like get a feeling and get coached up a little bit.
You know what would have been
because-
interesting is like a shadow session where he joins the desk as a third man, like for an hour.
right.
Like every week,
Right.
it's like, hey, joining us as the new commentator. He'll be running this ship in like
Yeah.
a month. But here he
AEW
is.
rotates people around all the time. That's basically what they
Oh.
did with Taz for a while. He would come in just for a little bit, and now he is like their best commentator.
I don't really like their rotating panel. I wish they just had like, this is it. This is your team.
Get Shivani out of there.
I love Shivani. What are you, nuts?
Fuck that guy.
What?
What?
Not with that much vigor, but like he can go away.
I don't know. I'm not saying like fire him. He's done. He's the worst ever. Because I will say there was some improvement week over week. But I don't know. He did not impress me at all. I didn't like. He messed up a couple things, like his moves. He doesn't know the moves. He called what's his name, Dragunov's finisher. Just a shoulder or something.
Yeah, but he called it the H-bomb this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
He learned.
He's getting there.
We'll see. I'll ease up a little bit. I was definitely more angry with him week one.
What if he gives us a show intro?
Then he's the best.
There you go.
But he's probably not that good. He's not like clever enough to.
He'll pick it up.
Say he didn't get all of it. He'll if somebody does something that warrants that, he'll probably.
It looks like they missed some of that move. We'll have to rename the whole fucking show.
Yeah. So I wish they would have brought Vic Joseph up to be with Wade again. I like those two.
Yeah, I like Vic Joseph. I think he's
get him away from fucking Booker.
No way.
For his own sake.
Yeah.
I like them.
Sometimes it really feels like he hates Booker T.
That's the best part.
He low key jab at his ass all the time.
Booker T's been eating all of his candy, getting too hyped up during NXT, and he hates it, I'm sure.
That motherfucker.
Well, this is just the beginning for Joe Tessitore, so we'll check in on him as this show progresses. But this is definitely not the start or the finish of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Earlier today, I spoke to CM Punk. And I can assure you, as much as you think you've ended him, CM Punk is not done. Specifically, Drew, CM Punk is not done with you.
If that's true, and that is a huge if, you're signing his death certificate.
Call it what you want, but it has to end. After the strap match, Punk thought it was over. So did I. So did they. And then last week, what'd you do? You lose your mind and we're back in the fight. And the fight has to end. And it ends at Bad Blood. Yeah, it's going to be CM Punk and Drew McIntyre at Bad Blood one more time. And Drew, I can assure you of this. When it's over, and it will be over, I'm going to find peace. You want to know why I'm going to find peace? I'm going to find peace because I'll know in my heart that it will be over. And it's going to be over because October, Atlanta, Georgia, Bad Blood. It will be CM Punk. It will be Drew McIntyre. It will be Hell in a Cell. Oh, let's go.
The end is here. They got to do that with that song. Make me a video package, please.
I think you just did it for them.
I'm trying. I'm speaking it into existence. Bring that shit back.
I do love. I would like to point out real quick that Adam Pearce totally forgot the date of Bad Blood.
That's
because he was just like October. When
I would do that too. I'd just be like, at the event, you can look it up.
I mean, it's better than getting the date wrong. So
yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't tack on a loser leaves Raw stipulation. I assume that's coming.
Time. Yeah, maybe.
Like, just because they beat each other up in a cell doesn't mean that they're not going to keep fighting each other if they're nearby.
I did like also the previous week, Punk basically saying that he was ready to move on and that he was going to start looking at Gunther, which I believe I correctly predicted on this show was going to happen. And I still loved it. Drew came out and, attacked him, kind of reversing the role that these two had just a few months prior. Good setup. I liked Adam Pearce's segment here, and I look forward to Hell in a Cell. But yes, it absolutely has to be the end of this.
Yeah, I think it, at least for now, like get them away from each other. I'm sure the Hell in a Cell will be great. The bracelet's gone. There's no more shenanigans. It's just boys fighting.
Mm.
I think we're in for a little banger of a match there.
Speaking of bracelets, can we talk about WWE Shop?
Fuck, the bracelet drama this week was so lame. This is the shit that makes me want to log off of like every social media.
So, for those not in the know, WWE Shop began selling replica friendship bracelets that said AJ and Larry and looked nearly identical to the one that Punk was wearing on the ring or on TV. And for those that don't know, that bracelet was legitimately made by a fan and given to Punk at, I think it was WrestleMania Access or whatever they call it now. And
Fan
of course,
Fest?
yeah, I think that's it. And of course, the said fan took to Twitter and was like, "Hey, that's my bracelet." And WWE pulled the bracelet, I think the same day or like within 24 hours of her calling it out.
It was definitely within like 24 hours because she like went on a thing being like, they didn't compensate me for this. They called to offer me tickets at one point, but it had nothing to do, like, it seemed like it had nothing to do with this. I don't know. I saw a lot of people being mad that they weren't giving her enough credit. It's not like she's a bracelet maker. Like,
no, but
she made a friendship bracelet for a dude. They wrote an angle around it, and then they made replicas of it. That
I
said,
feel like it would have been nice to do something for her.
Yeah, they offered her free tickets. I think it's really silly that they even thought anybody would want to buy a bracelet that say Larry and AJ on them. First of all, if you wear that, CM Punk is going to beat you up.
True. Wait,
so that's bad. But also, like, who the fuck is fan? Like, that's his dog and his wife. That's weird. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, valid. But WWE Shop quickly rethought things and put the bracelet back up, but now it just says CM Punk.
That makes more sense.
It does, and I will be purchasing.
And that's also what the girl who made it suggested in the first place. So
perfect. Everybody's happy.
She probably hasn't said anything else. I'm assuming if they contacted her and offered anything, they probably said like, "Hey, could you just shut up online too?" But also,
I don't think she wasn't like making, from what I saw at least, she wasn't making like a big stink about it.
No, she seemed pretty chill about it, but everybody else is like livid that she didn't get a fucking retirement check.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, come on, it's a fucking bracelet. If she was a bracelet maker and that's like her career of putting beads on string, then yeah, they probably owe her something. But this is like, I made you a little hobby thing. I did it for fun. They didn't fucking pay me for my vintage posters that they all knocked off.
True.
Mine were better anyway, so who cares?
I do feel like our listeners might not know this, but I do legitimately think Paul Griffin is responsible for the like throwback vintage wrestling poster like crave that went on for the last like decade plus.
I am, because when I was making posters for Booker T's promotion a decade ago, the one thing I hated about all the wrestling indie posters was how they had like a billion people on them and they all looked like absolute shit. And I'm like, how can we make it look like an event people would want to go to that looks respectable? And then I just got like really gung-ho about like making posters even for WWE stuff. And then there was a WrestleMania one that somebody tweeted on their own it was mine. John Cena retweeted their tweet and I was tagged in it, and that sent my phone into a spot. My phone died within 10 minutes of retweet notifications, and then that took off from there. And then I kept making them, and then other people started making worse versions, and now they're still doing that stuff.
Right, and like the companies are too. Like AEW and WWE will make posters for their
they
shows.
make limited run posters and shit. If you go to there's a New York pizza place in the West Village that has a knockoff of one of my posters on it, to the point where like they switched out the main event with like Hogan and somebody else, but the like you can literally tell the top is exactly my poster, even like the grain marks are in the exact same spot, and it's just like stuck on their wall. I think it's cool. If somebody wants to cut me a check, by all means, but I'm not gonna throw a fit about it. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't need to get paid for that. But if you want to support me, fatal4pod.com, click the shop button, buy a shirt.
Multiple shirts.
Maybe we should get some Fatal 4 posters up there. If you want to get back in the
fuck would that look like?
Workshop.
I'm not putting our ugly mugs on a poster.
Do a match card poster.
No, it can be. Yeah, it could be like it could be didn't get all of it Japan versus didn't get all of it with B-Rob on a pole match, because I'm in the middle of both shows. You can have like Noah in a special.
I don't think putting B-Rob on a pole is a good idea. It's 2020.
Hey man, I would make all the money. You know, I'll shake my ass for a couple ducats.
Oh,
right.
you had a different
pole
idea than I did.
You went races. I went like stripper.
I don't think either is a good option, to be fair.
I was thinking firefighter.
Yeah.
Were you though?
3 different choices. All right.
Speaking of choices, there was a lot of choices for the next Intercontinental #1 contender. So WWE had a tournament over the last couple of weeks that consisted of a bunch of triple threat matches leading into a final Fatal 4 match. Some enjoyable matches throughout the tournament.
When they do that.
Yeah, it's a different way of doing it, but I do feel like they go to that well a little bit too much. Like just the random multi-man matches culminating in another multi-man match.
It helps them speed up the tournaments, though.
True.
Yeah.
Unless they want people to work twice in a night, they can just.
Or they send them to Speed.
That's all right. No one's gonna watch that.
It was incredibly telegraphed, though, that Jey Uso would ultimately win, because there were several segments backstage with Braun Breaker and Jey Uso leading up to it. But I did enjoy it.
Are they going to pull the trigger on him?
No,
I don't think. I think it's too early to get the belt off Breaker.
They still got to send him over for Survivor Series.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't give Uso the title yet. But I enjoyed Breaker's like segments with Uso, saying that, you know, your family has never beaten up my family, and it's not going to change now.
Word.
Because the not the Wild Samoans, but the Head Shrinkers and Steiners had some bangers back in the day.
Well, I hope these two put on a hoot of a match before Braun tears through them.
I'm just gonna double check. Is it confirmed? Is it happening at Bad Blood, or is it just like a random Raw?
Oh, that's right. They are stacking some of these upcoming shows.
Let's see. Yeah, it's not officially on the card for Hell in a Cell, or I mean Bad Blood yet. So
Hell in the Blood, Bad in the Cell.
What a weird. I didn't realize Bad Blood had only had like 3 events in the past. I always thought it had like a longer tenure as a pay-per-view.
Wasn't it like an overseas show?
No, it was just the In Your House, like the first Hell
In Your House
match.
Bad Blood. Yeah.
And then there was 2 in the 2000 era that were when they did the split brand shows.
Yep. One of them was in Houston. Did you go?
No, I skipped it. That was one of the that had like that really horrendous Hell in a Cell match on it.
Triple H and Kevin Nash.
Yeah, the one where Mick Foley did all the bumping.
I don't think it was horrendous.
Go back and watch it.
Okay. Yeah, true. I'm saying
Take
this
Noah with
20 years removed, having only seen it once.
One of the
I was
worst
11.
eras of Triple H performances.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this card now. This is the show that Stone Cold beat up Eric Bischoff.
Yep. Mattress Mac was there.
No, it's Rodney Mack. He was on the he was in the tag match at the start of the show.
Ouch.
Oh, they definitely aren't related, considering how Mattress Mac feels about minorities.
But he lets them sleep on his mattresses.
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
I don't trust that man.
Well, I think the other big program going on Raw right now that I want to talk about is the World Heavyweight Championship picture.
Sami Zayn versus Gunther, part 2 for the World Heavyweight Championship. Understand this. With all due respect, Brett, but you're not in my league. And Sami, as much as you want to be, and as much as Bret is your hero, you're far away from being in a league with Bret Hart. So what does that tell you? My answer remains no.
That doesn't look like a champion to me. That looks like a coward. That looks like a dirty yellow coward right there, walking back to the dressing room. A gutless yellow coward.
This was fantastic. And I think
Howard.
I think Gunther is really coming into his own as world champion. I know, we all saw his IC title reign. It was great. He puts on great matches. But I feel like his character work was never his strong suit. Like I feel like he didn't really do much during his IC run. He just kind of went out there, had banger matches, and moved on to the next opponent. So I was kind of worried that when he got into the main event picture that he wouldn't really work as a heel because the crowd would just start to cheer him because they like watching his matches, and there's nothing else there for them to latch onto. But he's really proven that wrong, I think, since becoming champion. And he's done, he's not the best on the mic or anything like that, but he just is very good at getting heat. And it's working. And I thought his segment this week in Calgary with Bret Hart was fantastic. And I absolutely loved the line about Bill Goldberg being his favorite wrestler and the shit-eating grin he had on when he delivered it.
The funniest part about that is there's no chance that's true because he's such a different type of wrestler.
Yeah,
there's not a chance, and that's why it's even funnier.
So good. And Sami, I mean, he's always great, but he's really been on fire the last 2 weeks. I think it's a perfect title program. Gunther has seeds of doubt, obviously, because Sami's the only person, which I didn't really realize until he pointed this out, but the only person to pin Gunther since he's joined the main roster.
Yeah, I think that makes the match even more interesting.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we're going to eventually get it. It seems like they didn't make that announcement on this show, though.
No, yeah, they didn't officially book it. I wonder if it's going to be at Bad Blood, or maybe they save it for Survivor Series.
That's so far away. What would you... No, Survivor Series, Sami's with the Bloodline.
Oh, true. He's kind of got to be in that, doesn't he? Yeah, then
unless
they'll probably add it to Bad Blood.
This Bad Blood show is a month away.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It's not. It's what is it?
Well,
We've got
three
episodes of Raw.
Yeah.
October 5th on a Saturday.
9 hours left. They got time.
Is it 9, or do we get the 2-hour Raw before then? No,
2 hours starts the night after Bad Blood.
Perfect. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That match is going to be great. Underrated top feud.
Yes, for sure.
When do we ever think we'll ever get Gable back to that point? Because we wanted Gable to be that for a long time.
I don't know how they're going to do it. They've sidelined him with this horrible Wyatt stuff.
Yeah.
He was so good. That match they had, the Wyatt team got carried so much there, and it's such a bummer that after they got their ass kicked all over the place, they just had Uncle Howdy come in and hit his finish and pin Gable. or one of the creeds or something. Like, that stinks.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get him back there, honestly. Like, it's such a departure from where he was, where he's at now. I don't know. What a bummer. Dude should be like top contender right now.
Or former champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that happened on Raw worth talking about? I feel like it's kind of a slow week for the usual Judgment Day stuff.
Not.
Natalia's back. We knew that was coming.
Okay.
Yeah. See her Uncle Brett.
Yeah. Any SmackDown talk, guys? We love SmackDown.
Absolutely not. That show.
doing a cage match this week.
Yeah, I will not be watching that.
Do you think Solo versus Cody will be as violent as Swerve and Hangman?
I think it would be more violent.
I feel like
because
Solo
somebody's going to accidentally hurt someone.
I feel like Solo takes shots of tranquilizers before his matches now. He won't take it in the match.
Cody Rhodes is gonna do a moonsault off the cage through a flaming table.
He is gonna do a moonsault off the cage. I think
through
that's
a table that's on fire, like Cody said.
It's gonna be a big thing.
Do it.
Oh,
no balls.
Could be cool. What else? Oh, Julia wrestled on NXT this week. That was good.
Sure. Yeah.
She's great. I'm looking forward to more of that.
Like I've only seen limited quantities of Julia, and I've been kind of watching more because of didn't get all of it Japan. But what I notice is whenever she finds herself in a bad spot to where like maybe what they planned didn't go out the way they worked it out, headbutts are thrown or heavy forearms. So
they showed a video package of her in a bunch of clips, and a lot of it included like her doing pile drivers and stuff. And I was really surprised that they just bothered to show that, because they kind of don't do pile drivers there, which was interesting. I doubt that's going to change anything, but it was interesting.
When they get to Netflix, they whipping out all the guns. They're bringing all the pile drivers and we might even see Steen do a package pile driver. That'd be wild.
He's teased it a bunch. I hope he gets to do it someday. But
he might have to do a Punk and John Cena where they paid the fine and did the pile driver at that match.
Sure. I don't believe that's true. I know they said it, but I don't believe it. But yeah, that's a story for another day, because folks, I think we didn't get all of it, but we will try again next week. We are here next week. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Sign up for the Patreon. You know all the details. Buy a shirt. All that stuff can be found at fatal4pod.com. Check out Noah's podcast, Squared Circle Strafe, if you like video games. Check out Didn't Get All of It Japan if you like Japan. And B-Rob and the rest of the gang. Check all of it out. Guys, any parting words?
Listen to Square Circle Strafe.
I just said that.
No, I'm telling you again, because Noah's voice is calming and it gets me through my anxiety attacks.
The only thing I want to say is listen to Squared Circle Strafe.
Yeah, Noah's awesome.
All right. Bye.